Yeah, so I think the first thing is it goes back to the point I touched earlier is authenticity. I think you're the best you in the world, I'm the best me in the world. So if you try to do what I do, I'll beat you at
Hmm.
being me just because I'm me. But if I try to be you, I can't beat you at being you. So it's important to follow your genuine intellectual curiosity and authenticity, and that puts you in the best chance for success.
Welcome to Biz Help for You, the show that saves you the expensive learning curve by providing advice from industry experts in every facet of the entrepreneurial journey. Too many small businesses collapse. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, 20% fail within their first year, and less than 35% make it to their 10th anniversary. The goal of this podcast is to change that statistic. So if you're interested in learning more to be a successful entrepreneur, tune in today.
Let me tell you a little bit about my guest today. Eric, a 30-year-old entrepreneur, champions simplicity, adaptability, and a clear mindset in the dynamic realm of Web3 entrepreneurship. Currently serving as the president of ShopX Web3 e-commerce and the co-founder, chief growth officer of Dataing, his strategic thinking and adaptability fuel innovative solutions for the challenges within this cutting-edge industry. You can learn from Eric's diverse experiences, ranging from founding a SaaS platform to optimizing ad algorithms for Snap, demonstrating the value of versatility and strategic vision in navigating the entrepreneurial landscape. So, Eric, welcome to the show.
Hi, Candy. Thank you so much for being here. I'm really grateful and looking forward to our conversation.
I'm looking forward to it too. But before I get into questions on the topic, I'd love for you just to share a little bit of your entrepreneurial journey.
Sure, it's nice to meet everyone. My name is Eric. I would say my entrepreneurship journey started when I was in the corporate 9 to 5. So my first job out of Snap Inc. was helping craft their ad algorithm. After that, I'm like, okay, I need another job. And then I joined as a bankruptcy consultant, mainly because like out of college, that sounds like, okay, lawyer, doctor, consultant, sounds fancy, pays well, works with clients. But at that point, being a bankruptcy consultant didn't align with my ethos, which was becoming heavily invested in Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. So because it didn't align with that ethos, I waited for my bonus. I quit that job without a plan, started going to cryptocurrency meetups, excuse me, in my local area. We met the original ShopX team, and then we started building ShopX. And it's funny, while we for a lot of problems for startups and entrepreneurs, you just go on a whiteboard, you write everything out, and then you just talk for hours about it. So we were ideating a specific problem for ShopX at the time. It helped with referral codes. And then another company spun off out of that idea. So that company was called CartRev. It was called Palmly. It had two different names, CarRev or Palmly. That eventually got VC funded and incubated in one of the best incubators in the world. It's Science Inc. in Santa Monica. So as a young entrepreneur, I was in an environment surrounded by different startup founders in different industries at different levels. So like the startup right next to us was Liquid Death when it was 2 people. So at a young age, I was very fortunate. So obviously I networked, got lunch, went on walks with as many people as I could, learned what worked for them, learned what didn't work for them. And I would say that greatly accelerated my entrepreneurship journey. And then we've been working on ShopX for a while. A while back, I was on a cryptocurrency podcast tour just because we do live in the attention economy. So obviously that helped out the project. I went on one podcast called The Crypto Economy. It's run by this one dude named Mark. After the podcast, we stayed in touch. And then on Twitter, some random AI looking thing started following me. I'm like, what is this? Who is this? And it's like, oh, it's Mark. I'm thinking about building this AI powered matchmaking service. We hopped on a call. I found it funny. I think it's a really good idea. And so I've been building that simultaneously with ShopX ever since. And I think everyone's happiest when they're serving other people. And I think God, the creator of the universe, gives each of us individual gifts. So if you're happiest serving other people, how do you best serve other people at scale? The only way to do that is to follow your specific gifts and then do what you do. So for me, this just happened to be ShopX, a Web3 e-commerce platform, and Dataing, it's an AI-powered matchmaking service. But everyone's different.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm sure someone is listening to this now and saying, wow, like That's a lot of information, and you are definitely a risk taker, right? To like leave without having a plan and, just making your way into this world. But a lot of it seems scary or risky. A lot of people are nervous when it comes to crypto things, So I would love for you maybe just to even touch on like what is ShopX, what's Web3, e-commerce, these things that you talked about, and kind of how is that going to influence entrepreneurship?
Yeah, so in terms of risk taking, my personal belief is I think the universe is always working in your favor. So even if something bad happens, like who am I to understand the universe's plan? I'm just a normal person. So if it's always working in my favor, the bad things are eventually turn into good things if I just have faith. So that's why I'm okay with taking what seems to be a massive amount of risk, but I view it as not risky. So that's just my personal mindset. In terms of ShopX and Web3, to briefly understand what Web3 is, let's go back to Web 1. So Web 1 versus Web 2 versus Web 3, you can think of Web 1 as read-only. So you can go online, you can read stuff, which is cool. And this helped humans a lot because obviously the spread of information, the smarter we all get, the more connected we all get, the better it is for everyone. So that's Web 1, read-only. Web 2, you can frame it as social media. That's the easiest way I find to understand it. So just think of Instagram or Facebook or YouTube or TikTok or whatever platform. So in Web 2, you can read and you can write content, but you don't own the content. So those platforms own the content. So I could write an Instagram post. That's me creating content. You as a viewer, you can read, you can interact with it, you can do what you will, but Instagram owns the post. So if we say something that Instagram off, let's say we say something in this podcast that Instagram off, they could take us down without any particular reason. So that's the issue with Web 2. Web 3 is read, write, and own. So not only can you create the content, you can read the content, but you can also own the content. The way the content takes form is in many different things. It can be NFT, it can be a cryptocurrency, it can be money, and I find this to be extremely important as more and more tech companies gain more and more power and they can just censor anyone for any particular reason. Or let's say you have the wrong style belief, someone just cuts you off the banking system. I think the ownership aspect of Web3 is very important for that aspect. And what ShopX is we help Web2 brands connect to Web3. So if you're on Shopify, you're on WooCommerce, you're selling stuff online, you want to dabble in Web3, you would download the ShopX app, and then you can interact with the space pretty easily and freely. So we have 2 products live. The first is ReserveX. That's an NFT-powered loyalty program. So if you're a brand who wanted to launch an NFT and attach e-commerce benefits to that NFT in the form of discounts, exclusive products, and real-life events, you can. And this creates a more personal relationship with your customer. You know who your best customers are. You can reward them, and you can send value their way, and they can send value your way. So it creates that stream of value going forward. Right now, our focus is on tokenizing the world's products. So we want to transform, or we want to attach we want to create a physical to digital link. So imagine that Nike, and we're starting with luxury products. So we've already tokenized a couple like $1 million wines, supercars, Rolexes, all that stuff. Because that's hype, it causes a splash. But overall, we want to get the whole supply chain. So if an NFT is attached to an e-commerce product, there are many benefits to that. First off, the brand can track that product throughout its whole life cycle. So if Nike, let's use Nike for an example, they have 1 million product SKUs. They attach an NFT to each, or NFT or RWA to each individual product SKU. They can be like, okay, the shoe sold once, twice, 3 times, 4 times for this amount of money, and they can program in royalties for themselves. And on the flip side, the customer sees, okay, well, this is a Nike shoe. I can ensure that's authentic because I can see it came back from the original source. I can see its past ownerships. I choose to pay for it. This is great. And now let's say that customer has that NFT. If the metaverse becomes a thing, that can unlock more benefits from Nike. Because again, with the ownership aspect, Nike knows who their customers are, and then they can give benefits that way. I would say the most powerful thing about this, adding liquidity to e-commerce products at scale. So if you're selling e-commerce products, it's hard to kind of sell them. You have to go on like Amazon, you have to go on a big website, but this creates a giant ecosystem. So hypothetically, let's say Nike and Adidas, they both attach RWAs to their e-commerce supply chain, and they can track everything. The supply chain is kind of broken and barcodes don't really work. Like you can scan a barcode for a water bottle and it shows up as a lamp. So that problem's all solved. But like, let's say Nike were to attach an NFT to their products, Adidas were to attach an RWA to their products. Nike could sell the RWAs on their site, and Adidas could sell the Nike RWAs on their site. So, for example, if someone's shopping on the Nike store, they're like, okay, well, I bought these shorts that's great. Oh, they're selling, oh, I like these shoes that go with the shorts. And then the customer can make that purchase from the Nike site. They get both the products they want. Nike gets the sale and they get a commission from Adidas. So instead of like us putting our products as Amazon, I could be your Amazon, you could be my Amazon, Nike could be both of our Amazons. We could sell Nike stuff and we can really just, I don't know, it creates more liquidity amongst e-commerce products. And I think that fixes the base in the sense like if there's more liquidity, you find fair value quicker, you own the data. It's going to be a cool, interesting thing. And then in terms of like metaverse and AR and VR, I think that's going to become a thing in the future. The RWA is actually, it's also the perfect link to that. It's like I purchased a Nike shirt. Great, I purchased in real life. Okay, well, because I have that one-to-one physical to digital link, my avatar gets that. So now my avatar is a Nike shirt. Okay, Nike knows who the customer is. I'm like, okay, well, you purchased my shirt. That acts as access to the exclusive Nike lounge or whatever, and you can meet other Nike fanatics and you can communicate that way. So it's gonna be an interesting space.
So you're talking about, obviously different companies can sell other people's products and things too. And you were talking about Web3 is actually ownership, right? So is it still each person is creating their own website to have this, or are they selling products on like just this big kind of conglomerated like website? I guess if you could explain that a little bit more for someone who's listening and saying, I don't quite get it. I heard you say I could connect my Shopify, but I'm not sure what you mean by, being able to sell other people's things and tracking those sales. Can you explain a little bit more?
Yeah, sure, I'm happy to. So the quick answer is it's really up to the customer. I think Web3 is about choice. And the cool thing about Web3 is it's early stage. So a bunch of people are trying a bunch of different things, and some things are going to work, some things are going to fail. So to answer your question, you can do both ways. So for example, if you had a website, you could sell Nike products directly within your website. Nike could sell your products directly within their website. So like you can sell whatever you want and earn commission. So like let's say you're running a coffee business. Like, okay, well, coffee and cookies go. This is an example I'm using because we're talking to two of these. It's like, okay, coffee and cookies go well. Maybe you want to sell cookies that go with the coffee, and maybe that increases both your sales and increases the customer's happiness. So it's a win-win. So you can sell on each other's website, but you also don't need a website. So what ShopX particularly is doing right now is we're creating a project called MerchX, and that's more like a conglomerate. So a bunch of people are loading their luxury items, whether it be like McLaren's, F1 suites, like Tiffany's stuff, Birkin bags. I don't know. Like apparently those are a big thing. Like all the luxury items, or those people. Like if you're trying to sell like a customized McLaren or a Birkin bag, the marketplace isn't really there. So they're accessing the marketplace of other users to sell their products and services, to sell their luxury products and services from a singular site. So when someone brings traffic, like let's say I'm the McLaren owner and you're the Birkin bag owner. Let's say I bring traffic from my McLaren to the site. They see your Birkin bag, they make that purchase. The customer is happy because it's hard to get these two products. Like if you try to get a Birkin bag, you're just like, I don't know. If we're like, I want to customize McLaren, it's like, I don't know. So we benefit off each other. So we're selling through one site.
So you're talking to right now like luxury products, and I know you said at some point you want to have it for everything. So if someone is listening right now and says, well, I create, gift card, like, or, like graphic design, like custom cards, right? Like Christmas cards, or I create t-shirts, or, things like this that aren't like super popular yet necessarily. Maybe it's a business that's relatively new starting out, or maybe they've been around for a while too, but it's not as well known or as luxury as what you're talking about. So how does the everyday business owner kind of make this effective for their own businesses and be able to get the word out, have other people selling their products, like you were talking about that possibility? How does that happen?
Yeah, so in terms of the luxury items, I want to point out that our goal is to, like, because not everyone obviously cares about luxury, me, myself included, like not everyone cares about luxury items, but that's an easy point of market penetration. So that's what we're focusing on there, because rather than disperse your energy across a bunch of different things, it's good to focus on one niche, win that niche, use that as proof of concept, and then move forward from there. So in terms of businesses, we made it, again, I like the long tail of brands better, meaning like the smaller size brands. So that's why we're integrating with Shopify and WooCommerce. So if you're a smaller business, all you have to do is download the ShopX app, and then from directly within your Shopify store, that's where you're going to be able to attach ENFTs to each individual product, and then you can ship it. And then whenever a customer makes a purchase, they can claim the ENFT. So you can do it two ways. You can either just claim it, or you can take out your phone through NFC chip technology. So like I could take out my phone, I just purchase a shirt, I put my phone near the shirt, and that creates an NFT link to the shirt. So there are two ways to do that. Whatever you want to do as a brand is easiest. And we're planning to build a community of brands where they're where it's like a self-help group. It's because again, like it's a new technology. If one brand does this, who cares? If two brands do this, or whatever, that's better than one, but still, who cares? If 10 brands does it, it's still better than two, but it's also like, who cares? So like, it's the more people doing this, the better it's going to be for everyone. So I think people eventually work itself out, but in the beginning, we expect to act as a concierge, or just like the coffee and cookie company. Like, I'm just like, okay, well, I'm talking to both of you. Do you just want to hop on a quick call between Davia? It's like, this could be helpful to all of us. So it'll be like that, but eventually brands will just find their own things. And then we'll have a marketplace where you can see what other brands' products are there. So you can be like, okay, I'm selling coffee. What products would my coffee or my customers like? Oh, there's a cookie brand. Let me reach out to the brand, or just sell the product. Because from the cookie side, they're putting a commission. They're just letting it go into the ether. And if the brand wants to sell from their side, they can do it as well.
So if you have, like, this is a great example. You said you sell coffee and you want to kind of have add-on sales of these cookies, right? And it's a different company. Do you just sell it and then that other company gets the order and they're shipping it out? You know, like, how does that work for someone who wants to have additional sales to go along with their product, but they don't physically have the product to ship out themselves?
Yeah, so in terms of how it works, it would be like you purchase an RWA. So like I purchased the coffee in the form of an RWA, and the RWA acts as a redemption for the product. So however they ship it out, they would normally do that. So that's what we're doing. The luxury items is customers using cryptocurrency or whatever currency to purchase a voucher for a specific item, and then the item claims the product on the open marketplace, and however they're shipping out normally, they would just ship it out.
So the cookie company is the one who's going to end up shipping it out. It's just the company that is basically expanding their market by selling to their own customers is helping them get additional sales.
Yeah, so just like think about worldwide affiliate marketing, where everyone has the option to be everyone else's affiliate.
Right. Makes sense. And earlier you said something about where someone could see like all the people who owned this certain product. And I'm sure some people heard that and might be like, wait, like, what about privacy? You know, like, or I don't want to buy something and then have other people know that I bought it, you know? So can you touch on maybe issues of privacy that may come up because of this type of information?
Correct. I am a big proponent of privacy. So that's the cool thing about blockchain is it's pseudo-anonymous. So you can see an address, but you can't see the person. So for example, like in the Nike example, let's say the product was sold 4 times for this amount of money at this date. You can see wallet address 1, sold to wallet address 2, sold to wallet address 3 for all these amounts of money at these specific dates. So you see a string of numbers like, okay, it was a person that was obviously sold, but you don't know who the person is. So it's pseudo-anonymous where it's like, you go, okay, it's a real person. You never know. Could it be a bot at this point? But like, it's like, okay, it was sold for this much, but I don't know who sold it. Because again, like I'd be like, no one needs to know what I'm buying.
Right. Yeah, because I know there's so many people who are concerned about, you know, privacy issues and hacks and all of that now too. We hear all the time, you know, about things have been breached, you know, so I'm sure there's some concern with this because it sounds like it's really cool, but at the same time it sounds like, well, there could be a lot of information floating out there that somebody could get. So, you know, I wanted to touch on that too. So if someone is thinking of, you know, starting a business even, and they, you know, haven't really started, but they're hearing this and there's like, oh, there's a lot of great information on here. And you talked about, you know, being adaptable and having simplicity in your business. Like, what are some tips that you could give them about starting the business and emphasizing those aspects?
Yeah, so I think the first thing is, it goes back to a point I touched earlier, is authenticity. I think you're the best you in the world, I'm the best me in the world. So if you try to do what I do, I'll beat you at being me just because I'm me. But if I try to be you, I can beat you at being you. So it's important to follow your genuine intellectual curiosity and authenticity, and that puts you in the best chance for success. In terms of starting a business, I view everyone as a conscious creator, whether they know it or not. So when starting a business, just don't harm anyone or don't take anything away from anyone. You're setting yourself up, because I also believe in karma. So like, there's good ways to make money. If you make money in a good way, great, you can add more value to the world, fantastic. But if you're making money in a bad way, that's not good, because A, it doesn't help anyone, and B, it'll come back to bite you in the ass every time. So just make money in a good way, in terms of tangible advice, the best thing to do is honestly just start. Like you may have this idea, like let's say you have this idea for like years. It's like, oh, I want to start this business, but I don't know what to do. I don't know how to create an LLC. How am I supposed to hire people? It's like, well, just start. Because once you start walking the path, the next path reveals itself. So like, okay, well, I have this business idea. What should I do first? Well, maybe I should create a Google Drive folder. That's an easy step. I can do that in a minute. Like if I wanted to create a Google Drive folder, I can do that within this minute. Okay, I have this Google Drive folder. What do I need to do after this? Well, maybe I should build out departments, like engineering, business development, marketing. It's okay, now I have folders. Let me go into the marketing folder. Well, my marketing folder is empty. Looks like I need some social media accounts. And then you just create an Instagram and then you start working from there. So I would say that's important, just starting. And then from there, it's all about, I think the biggest thing is, for me, it's consistency, like day in, day out. Keep that positive mindset and just learn from your mistakes. Because in startup world, obviously, nothing works most of the time. So you just have to find out what works, adapt, and you just have to, I don't know, the way to describe it is like, you may have made the best possible move yesterday, or you may have made the worst possible move yesterday. That doesn't change the fact that today, the best thing you can do for yourself is to look at your chessboard and make the best possible move for you in this present moment. And if you do that consistently and daily, I think you'll eventually win.
So if someone then wants to have on their website either their own products that they then, have this token attached, or once again, they want to represent someone else's, like how do they even go about getting those tokens or those numbers that you were talking about to actually attach those to a product?
Yeah, so we're building out the software right now. So right now it's more of a concierge service where people are individually uploading their products with our help, but we understand that's not scalable at all. So that's why we've integrated with Shopify and WooCommerce, meaning you could just for your listeners, Shopify and WooCommerce, so that if you're selling stuff online, they're the marketplaces that you want to go to. So just like your iPhone has apps you can download, Shopify and WooCommerce have apps e-commerce store owners can download. So if you're an e-commerce store, you want to test out ShopX, you would just download the app, and then we would handle all the backend. So we've created a no-code solution, meaning you don't really have to know what blockchain is. You just have to click a couple buttons that would generate the RNF or RWAs. And then you can work from there. And of course, we understand it's new technology, so we're happy to answer any and all questions on an individual basis.
And is this only for like e-commerce products being sold online, or does this also work for someone who has a brick and mortar and they're selling products in their store?
So right now we're building out for e-commerce products online just because we're integrating directly with Shopify and WooCommerce, just because those are the easiest points of market penetration. But long term it'll be for everyone. So if you're a brick and mortar and you wanted to attach but that takes longer because e-commerce to the Shopify, so you can attach the RWA directly upon purchase. But for the e-commerce brick and mortar, let's say you don't have an online store, you'd have to build in the NFC chip into your supply chain, which takes longer. And we're talking to some major companies about that. But if a major company is adding something to the supply chain, that's like a years-long conversation. So once the groundwork is laid for that, any brick and mortar should be able to do that. And once let's say a mom and pop is selling t-shirts like at the Grand Canyon, like, okay, well, I'm going to add this cool digital experience. They attach a NFT. It's like, hey customer, this is your first time at the Grand Canyon. You get the shirt, but you also get a digital collectible with it. You just scan your phone, hold it up next to them, bam, the shirt is yours. And now you have a digital collectible, and now we know who you are. And then they get some discounts, experiences, or whatever they want. Because it creates that, because at its core, NFT or RWA, it's just creating a relationship between a creator and a consumer, and whatever form the creator and the consumer takes, that changes. Like it could be a music artist, it could be a sports superstar, it could be an e-commerce brand, it could be an influencer. So they're the creator, and then they have that connection with whoever is consuming their content or product.
Well, and you were talking before about they don't necessarily know the person this is, right? It's a string of numbers, like we had a sale to the string of numbers or something, but it would allow you to like interact with your customer or build relationships or things too. So my first question, I guess, is how do you even see that information, like reporting wise? And then how would you take that information and actually reach out to your customer to maybe be able to market something different to them?
Yeah, so it's the option of the brand because again, like blockchain is pseudo-anonymous, but obviously if you're purchasing something from an e-commerce store, you put in your credit card information. So they're on the back end, there's a way to link the wallet address to whichever credit card, or because you need to put in your information to purchase something online. So there's a way to link that between the brand, like from the brands, we say like, okay, like A, we can pull the information for you, or B, we can build out a dashboard. Like these customers have these NFTs with you. So you, as a brand, you can see the list. But from the customer side, like let's say I purchase the brand's product, that NFT is now linked to me, and then I sell it to you. You wouldn't be able to see my name. You would just see those string of numbers.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know there's like so much that goes into this, and it's new. Like you were saying, there's so much more that I'm sure that's to come. But I know we are coming to the end of the time that we have together right now. So I would love to ask, like, do you have an offer that you would like to share with our listeners? And if someone has more questions or they want to reach out to you, how can they contact you?
Yeah, so in terms of offer, if you want to join SquadX, we do pay our ecosystem, and we pay our community in Ethereum for helping our ecosystem grow. So that's a cool thing. If you're into Web3, you want Web3 to succeed, just check out our Twitter at ShopX Labs or our website, shopx.co, and there's links to join that ambassador program. And as we grow as a company, we earn more and more Ethereum. We share more and more Ethereum with our community. And what this does is it creates positive upward spiral, because then our community is getting paid more and more. They're going to brands. They're saying you should use ShopX. We're getting more brands. The brands are earning us more money, and then we share it back. So that's a fun little thing we got going. Or if you're an e-commerce store owner and want to actually check out the app yourself, just go to the Shopify App Store and search ShopX, and you should see us and just download the app.
Perfect. And other than the apps or anything, is there any other way that you want people to reach out to you?
Yeah, if you want to reach out to me personally, like again, my intention is to be as helpful as possible. Just personal Instagram, Eric D. McHugh, EricDMCHUGH. A, because I like learning about people. It's kind of fun meeting random people online. And B, it's like we can do the voice message thing, which I find just much better than typing.
Perfect. Well, thank you, Eric, for being a guest on my show and talking on this topic. I appreciate it, and I enjoy the time that we had together discussing it.
Oh, no, it was so much fun. Thank you so much.
And to listener, if you enjoyed today's topic and you want to hear additional information, you can find access to exclusive content in the show notes. Thank you for tuning in today. Would you please share this episode with those you know and leave a review on your favorite platform? And if you find our show informative, would you consider being a financial sponsor to help me continue my mission to educate business owners? A link is located in the episode description, and no amount is too small. I'd really appreciate your support. If you are interested in connecting with our guest and receiving the offer they had to share, a link to our resource page is in the show notes. Finally, if you have any bookkeeping or payroll needs, reach out to us at 310-534-5577 or contact@abandp.com. My team and I are eager to assist you. Until next time, have a great day.
Thank you for listening to Biz Help for You. Please join your host, Candy Messer, again next time. Have a terrific day.